Good afternoon, everyone. It's an honor to be here in front of you, talking about Enable My Child and our mission. My name is Saeed, and I'm the CEO and founder of Enable My Child. Enable My Child is a teletherapy company that diagnoses and provides care in the form of therapy, and we support all that with AI and data. I'll tell you a little bit more about it later. The clicker. We need one of these. Okay, so our mission is extremely simple. It's superior and affordable care for all. We haven't been around for too long. 3 years in research, planning, and development, and fully operational for about 6 months. In those 6 months, we've gotten ourselves over 100 schools, including schools nationwide contract with Pearson's, and we're also in hospitals and early intervention centers in a few other states. Let's talk a little bit about the problem. 10.5 million children. That's 60% of children that should be getting help but aren't. Let's talk about some of those contributing factors. Inefficient. The access to care is inefficient not because of the lack of therapists, but because of our suboptimal use of their time. Right? Rural areas don't have enough of them, and urban areas squander therapist time with paperwork. That leads to no therapy or inadequate therapy. Second, inefficient. Children fall through the cracks all the time, and I was one of them. Screening is sadly ineffective. And even when children are screened, there's misdiagnosis that happens. It's ADHD, no, it's autism, or it's something else. Now, parents ask themselves the question, why am I not seeing any changes? And what happens when they get frustrated? They quit. Third, children are not just smaller version of adults. However, the therapists that are treating them have generalized experience across all different age groups. In addition to them, some children are matched with therapists that don't have the specific condition experience. So the consequences of not providing therapy are serious. Some of those children get into juvenile systems, and some of them end up taking up their own lives. The solution. First and foremost, we want to fix the basics. Right? As a digital business, our therapists are accessible from any corner of the world. And on top of that, we've even solved the paperwork problem using technology, and I'll show you how. Second, in order for therapy to be effective, you need the right diagnosis, and that right diagnosis needs to direct the treatment plan. Right? And we ensure that our thorough evaluations make that happen. In addition to that, we collect progress data after every therapy session in collaboration with parents and teachers for the purposes of continually refining therapy. Third, the opposite of inadequate is adequate, and adequate is just not good enough. Our children deserve excellent care, and therefore we vet our therapists very, very carefully so that they have high qualified pediatric experience and specialize in specific conditions, and most importantly, have age-appropriate communication skills. How do we do all that? Let me introduce you to the EMC brain. It's all-encompassing, self-contained. It's much, much more than a communication platform. And much like a human being, it's got a left side of the brain, which is practical and analytical, and a right side of the brain, which is intuitive and holistic. The left side of the brain does everything from session tracking to automatic scheduling to compliance to analytics, so schools can actually do what they really do, which is have to take care of their children instead of administrative work. Saves a considerable amount of time. And on top of that, we help therapists pre-populate all their case notes and everything else, which again, saves a lot of time for them. And what happens when you save time? They end up spending it back on the children. The right side of the brain, which is the holistic side and the intuitive side, we track every successful treatment strategy. And what we do is we provide that back to the therapist as intelligence when a new child comes in. And therefore, we're able to implement strategies that actually work, which it helps and reduces rehabilitation time. Not too long back, there was the question of validity about teletherapy. All 50 states have now approved it as a viable form of delivery. Insurance and Medicaid now pay out for it. State health departments and education boards are all for it. Parents, therapists, and pediatricians, they're all on board as well. That's my team, extremely proud of them. I wouldn't be here standing on this stage without them. They all come from deep pediatric experience, and we're all here to change the way therapy is done and reimagine the entire landscape. So one more thing there, we have 100+ therapists. Lastly, for investors in the crowd, it's a $109 billion market. That's all from me today. Come have a conversation with me, learn about Enable My Child, and please join us in the journey. Thank you so much.